how do we find exact values for these half angles given a trig function in quadrant 4? That's coming right up. We know that minus 90 degrees to 0 degrees is quadrant 4, and it's actually equivalent to, or the same as, 270 degrees to 0 degrees, which is, of course, quadrant 4. So we also know in quadrant 4 that x values, x over r, which of course is going to equal cosine theta, and in quadrant 4 the x values are positive. In quadrant 4 the y values, y over r, that's going to be sine theta, and those values are negative. So whatever we do, we need to think about the fact that our angle theta is in Q4, and that means our half angle will be there as well. So let's think about this. We are given cosecant theta equals minus 5/4. So that's what we're given. Cosecant theta is minus 5/4, and we know that cosecant is 1 over sine. So this is 1 over the sine of theta, and we know that equals minus 5/4. So we'll multiply both sides by sine theta and also multiply both sides by minus 4/5, and that will give us sine theta equals minus 4/5. Now we know that the 5 is positive because the 5 is the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always positive. So 5 is here, theta of course is here, and we know sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, so that's minus 4. So we need to find then the x value, and we can use Pythagoras to find the x value. So using Pythagoras, we know that 5 squared equals x squared plus minus 4 squared, and that's going to tell me that x equals 3 by the time I'm done. And I know that x is positive because I know the x value is positive in Q4 and the y value here is negative in Q4. And now you'll notice that what I've found here, I know that the hypotenuse of my angle theta is 5. I found the x value, or the adjacent, in this case, is 3, and the opposite value is minus 4. So I can tell you that the sine of theta, which I already know, is minus 4 over 5, but the cosine of theta is 3 over 5, and of course the tangent of theta, well, that's going to be minus 4 over 3. And I can use these values in my half angle formulas now. One of the angles we were asked to find was the cosine of theta over 2. And we know that this is in Q4, and we've already talked about the fact that the half angle is also in Q4. So I have the positive root because cosine is positive in Q4, it's the x value. So I have 1 plus 3/5 all over 2 under the square root, and that is going to give me the square root of 8/5 divided by 2, and that of course will be the square root of 8/10, and that's the square root of 4/5. By the time I've simplified, that'll give me 2 all over the square root of 5. I'm going to have to rationalize the denominator. We don't like to leave rationals in our denominator. So we have 2 times the square root of 5 all over 5, and that's the exact value for the cosine of pi over 2. The other half angle we were asked to find is the tangent of theta divided by 2. So I just picked one of the 2 possible formulas because they're equivalent. So that's 1 minus cosine theta, so 1 minus 3/5 in the numerator, all divided by, in the denominator, sine theta, which is minus 4/5. So that's going to give me 2/5. 5 minus 3 is 2/5 in the numerator, divided by minus 4/5 in the denominator, multiplied by the reciprocal, and I will get 2/5 times 5 over minus 4, and that's going to be negative 1/2. And that's the exact value of the tangent of pi over 2. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. And if you found any value in this, please give me a like